Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, readers of all persuasions. It is I, Gayla, and welcome back to Book Uncorked and Caffeinated. And yes, it is another video. Today is Books and Grapes. I'm drinking some carbonated wine by an Oregon-grown company called Underwood. That's what I'm drinking. I'm drinking it out of my wine glass that says wine because punching people in the face is illegal. My colleague got me this, so she knows me well. So let's begin. You are here for some bookish content. And so I have been having a bookish summer. I really have been having a bookish summer. Been buying all of the things. Can't say I've been reading all of the things, but I've been collecting all of the things. So I'm gonna have a few shots of and pictures of what I've been doing throughout the summer when it comes to books. So a couple of weeks ago, I decided to go into the city. I said I'm having a city day. I've been wanting to go to the Fifth Avenue New York Public Library. If you're from New York or know about New York, if you know, you know. And so I went in the city for the excursion. There was a book hotel, a library book hotel, 2 blocks away. And so I went there for brunch. I had some guacamole and chips. I had some shrimp cocktail, and I had their famous rosé. It's a hotel all dedicated to books. And in their bar part, people were actually there reading books. And it was so funny because I sat at the bar. It was extremely hot that day to sit on the rooftop. So I sat at the bar, and this lady, she was a little tipsy, and she said to her companion for lunch, "I can't believe people really came here to read books." And he was like, "Would you shut up?" And she was like, "Ha, ha, 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 ha." But there is a place for people that want to go have some dinner, have some drinks, and just read some books. And those things are popping up all around the country, and specifically in New York, there's a lot of things happening. So I mosey on down the block to the New York Public Library with the lions in the front. And that particular day, they had an exhibit on James Baldwin. I'll pop up some pictures or whatever. And it was truly a good day out. It wasn't super hot. It wasn't super cold. It wasn't super crowded in the library. I was able to go around and go to different things. But I specifically went to the James Baldwin exhibit. And then when I went to the gift shop, I picked up Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. And I said I wanted to start getting more into James Baldwin works. We know all his famous things, but I think as a person who likes to read, I haven't read a lot of James Baldwin, if I'm honest, and I would like to do so. So I'm starting with Giovanni's Room. And while I was there, I am also a creature of habit. I like all the pretty and shiny things and anything that represents New York, anything that represents libraries. And I picked up Treasures of the New York Public Library. This is a table book. I am so excited. This is the first time I took it out the bag because I wanted to do the video before I put it on my table, but I'm so stoked about having this book. And that particular day, it was $20 off. So instead of paying $50, I paid $30, which I think is awesome. So that was the start of kind of like not the start of, but the middle of my book journey this summer. And then the next week, that the Behind the Pen Book Festival was happening in the Lower East Side, and I went to that. It was a gang of authors. Danielle Allen was there, Natasha Bishop was there, Casey Mills was there, Monica Walters was there, Kimberly Brown was there. She wrote Rhythm Blues. I was so upset because I walked past that table a few times, and the last time I walked by and I was gonna get the book, it was gone. So anytime you go to these festivals and you see something that you want, you better pick it up because the girls be out there. The line was wrapped around 2 corners. The great thing about that day is I found free parking because in Manhattan you pay for everything. So I found free parking, and the line was pretty long, but I suffered through it because I really wanted to go to this book festival and pick up some things. I didn't get anything of Danielle Allen, like her backlog. It was a lot going on, but I know I pick up stuff from her and I can get stuff. It's accessible. But surprisingly, I picked up 2 sets of books by 2 different authors, which I was totally stoked about. They are fairly new authors to me. I really heard about these authors from like people like Shelby in the book club, and people that really read like urban fiction, urban romance, and things of that nature. So I was able to get Monica. I'm gonna go to Casey Mills in a minute, but I was able to pick up some books by Monica Walters. So the first book I ever read by her was 8 Seconds to Love. Baby. And it was no 8 seconds. Let's just start there. So the male main character was a bull rider, and he beat his top score 8 seconds. But also meeting the female main character who was kind of like in the area on vacation, met him and things of that nature. And they began to have a little romance because, you know, he's 8 seconds to love. He ain't got time. He's riding bulls. He's going from city to city. Nobody gonna hold him down. Well, you know how that happens. This was a bit steamy, but it was good steamy. It was like just enough spice for you to be like, okay, I see you. And so when I saw her, I was like, I want the other parts of the series. I didn't know it was a series when I initially picked it up. And so I've been trying to get it on Libby, all the apps. The follow-up books weren't coming up. So I saw this on the table and I was like, the devil's a liar. I know she has the other 2 here, and she did. She was super awesome, super personable. She took a picture with like everybody that was on her line. So I actually was able to get the rest of the books in the series. So taking Training My Heart to Love You is the follow-up. And then the third part of the series is Breaking Barriers to Your Heart. So yeah, I am so excited about having the full series now. I totally enjoyed this book. I may not read the entire thing, but I may read like the last 5 chapters to prep me for this, because what I think gonna happen in this one is that this main male character, friend, is gonna be the discussion in this, the main man, the main character in this book. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I was introduced to Casey Mills. So I read Casey Mills' Christmas book last year. And what is the name of it? Let me look at my photos, because I just took a photo. Casey Mills' Christmas in Spite of You, which was super good. And I really enjoyed it. And I thought she was kind of like, because that book wasn't spicy at all. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, she writes little cutesy wootsy. No, ma'am. I hear she's about that life. And so I was able to get her latest series. I think it's called The Collective. I have it up on the screen. And she had all of the books there, except she had number 1 and number 2 there. I don't think she had no, she had 1 and 3. She didn't have 2, which is daunting. And so she had it, but it was in the new cover, and I want the old cover because I have these 2. So this Shadows, I believe is 1. Daunting is 2, and Emergent and Ascendant is 3. So I was able to pick these up. But while I was there, she had a book called The Loop Brothers, the complete series. So this must have been a couple of books, and so it was all binded in one. So I picked that up as well. And so what I'm gonna do is just go to her site and try to get this one in these covers so it can match the cover that I have for the other 2. And this one came out in, I think, June, July. So this is the latest of the series. So it was super cool. She also was super cool. I barely made it to get these books from her table. Like, people were pre-ordering, so the books was like bust down. Like, you came and got your book, and whatever was left over was left over. But that's good for them, right? It's super good for them. And they were able, you know, to accommodate other people that came there. And it was a really good experience. I enjoyed myself. I was on the line with some funny ladies, and we were just making jokes, you know, and talking about, you know, reading and Black women reading, and it's becoming more popular. And then that Friday, August 15th, the start of the sales for the Black Romance Book Festival went on sale. And if I'm honest, I was overwhelmed by this book festival. I was like, this is a lot of people. We're out in the heat. What's going on? So it kind of deterred me from actively trying to go to the Black Romance Book Festival for next year. Is the Romance Book Festival in Atlanta. And they were like, you should go, you should experience it. It was a lot. I've heard, being in the book streets, that it was a lot, but it was good. It wasn't a lot where it was bad. It was a lot was good, but you couldn't do everything. And I know I've noticed about myself in the last few years, I get a little anxiety when there's too much going on, and I just be like, I can't handle it. So I didn't get tickets, and it sold out in like a couple of hours anyway. So I'm gonna put it on my radar for 2027, and perhaps I'll go then. Maybe being involved in the book community and doing some more book things and book festivals, I'll be able to do that. So in the next clip, you will see, just recently I came from the DMV area, and now when I go to different places, I go to their Dollar Trees to figure out what I am going to pick up and see what books out. So you'll see that in the next clip. Hey, so I stopped at the first Dollar Tree. I think I'm gonna stop at one more before I meet up with my cousins, but I found 4 books. One, the trader beside her. I don't know what these are. I just picked them up real quick. They look pretty good. Dark Things I Adore. Local Gone Missing. I think I've seen this before in another Dollar Tree, and I put it back, so pick it up. And this one is A Terrible Fall of Angels. So these sound like some good ones. So I'm gonna eventually do a vlog or a video where I am reading only Dollar Tree books. I have so many, but I'm gonna do that, and then we'll see where that goes. Anywho, I'm gonna try to make it to the other one. If I don't, I don't. If anything, I'll try to make something like on the way back on the road. If I see like a Dollar Tree, I'll get off, or like a Books A Million. I'm really trying to go to a Books A Million. But anywho, y'all have a good day, and I'll talk to y'all later. Deuces. I'm back with my wine. So you see the time I spent in the DMV area, and what books I picked up, and all of those things. So this has really been a bookish summer. Been pushing out content. Just trying to do more things with my channel. I think I'm gonna up the game in the next few weeks by doing more shorts throughout the week. I finally joined TikTok after all this time, so I'm really trying to step my game up. I want to find my way of doing like a new intro and things of that nature. So yeah, that has been my bookish journey so far for the summer. I probably have a couple of other things to stack in there. There's a couple of book talks I'm going to in the month of September and the beginning of October, so you'll see that footage, and hopefully, like I said, I can do more shorts. But I just want to thank you again. If you lasted to the end of this video, drop a wine glass or some clinkly clinks with the bubbles, and I'll see you in the next video. Deuces. How can I forget? Do all the things. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you next video. Deuces.